Okay, here we go. This is for the kind of the rewrite of the Twitch game code. I'm building each individual feature in its own scene. That way I can focus on kind of one thing at a time before I bring it all together. So if we start this, oh man, we're gonna have to wait again, aren't we? Yeah, there it goes. It's running now. So it runs pretty smooth. And this is, on the iPad Pro screen, which is over USB 3.0. It's not too shabby. So about all the controls that Twitch has in my current demo that I showcase have been rewritten, and everything is smoother. So that's one thing. There's another feature I'm going to load real quick that may be of interest to some of you. For level generation, or level design, that's one thing I have to figure out how to have time for. When it comes to level design, I feel like I'm making a good game, but I don't have time to make all the content for a good game. Because again, I don't get to do this full time except for 2 months out of the year. So one of the things I've been working on is random level generation. That way, as I build the game, my levels kind of take care of themselves based on code that I've written. So what that means is when it generates a level, it generates it kind of in ways I think about laying things out. Anyway, so with that loaded, I'll hit play, and you can kind of see what happens here. Once it starts. All right. I think we loaded. I think also I can't see the whole thing very well. Let's see. I'm going to set this to 4 to 3. Yeah, there we go. Helps me see it better. So I have this first debug menu. I'm generating an array. The numbers mean things. You don't need to worry about what they mean right now, but basically 5 is a main road and 6 is a river. The other numbers have to do with whether it's a farm, a village, or a forest tile. Each one of those, so each one of these areas breaks down in its own 3x3 grid, which this further defines the detail, and then it breaks down into sectors where every one of those breaks out into its own area. So here the yellow numbers represent farm tiles, purple is villages, and then the main road and the river. And it will randomize this configuration every time. So right now, if I jump over to the scene view and zoom out a bit, you can see what that kind of does. Zoom out more, zoom out more. Oh, see, this is where it's getting choppy, kind of. All right, so if you look at the pattern, the way the buildings are laying out, it's matching my pattern of, or my array of numbers that are used as a guide. So the beauty of this is after it designs it all, it'll scrap all this information as part of the loading process before you even get into the level. All the code and all the game objects it generates in order to create the level are all then dropped, so that once the level actually starts, there's very little in terms of game objects or dynamic calculations. It does all of that during the loading screen. And then it saves the configuration, so the next time you come to this level, you don't have to spend as long in the loading screen. Basically, every time you start a new game, you spend a little extra time in the loading screen so that it generates a new layout. And that's nice too, because this way I'm doing this can be reused for other games. It doesn't have to just be a top-down layout. I can use this for side-scrolling platform layouts and all of that. So I feel like the time I'm spending doing this is going to equal faster game development time down the road. So I'm just spending a little time cleaning up the way I code and coding some tools to help me in the future. So this has been kind of your tactical Twitch update rolled into the GPD Win kind of review.